Welcome along to the bench with Jenna and John. We are here at Hull KR, and I'm delighted to say that our guest for this week's podcast.
Can imagine what's
this is going to be a long half hour.
Yeah.
Is none other than the Chief Executive Officer of Hull KR, Paul Lakin. Welcome along to the bench.
Thank you.
Chief Exec.
Chief Executive Officer. We are going to get onto that in a minute. But first, John Wilkin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think it's fair to say that this club's success coincides with your arrival,
Is
Paul.
it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence?
Pure coincidence.
Is that the truth?
Well, look, genuinely,
Yes.
I think the art of being a CEO, you know, is to surround yourself with really good people that know better than you.
Right.
And I think I'm quite good at that. And I'm just like the conductor, really. I just guide them, steer them. And, you know, I've got great people in marketing that know a lot more than me. So I just keep them on the straight and narrow.
It is going well, though.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Can I just stop you, though?
is so important in sport.
Of course it is.
But, Paul, this isn't exactly true. So I've spoken to a few people at this club, and they say that you really are key to this club's success and the way that you've kind of brought everyone behind the scenes together. But also you have a lot of time with Willie Peters as well. And you also have a lot of involvement with the squad, the incomings, the outgoings.
Yeah.
Every week you have a meeting with Willie about that.
Yeah, every day.
Every day.
That's a tortured man.
Willie would have one every day if he could. But yeah, we keep it to voice notes, but we definitely have a meeting every week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let us in. Pretend we're a fly on the wall in one of those meetings.
Yeah, how many messages, for example, a day are we getting off Willie Peters?
Oh, well into double figures a day. Yeah, he lives and breathes the job. And I actually think that there's no other way of doing it for success. He thinks about here and now. He thinks about today. He talks to me about 2026 in the same breath, and everything in between. So
Exhausting to be around or fun?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. I'd be lying if I didn't say it was exhausting sometimes. But
you should hear what he has to say about you, Paul.
Yeah, I bet. But the results are there, aren't they?
Yeah.
The results are there, and you wouldn't want it any other way, really. I feed off him and he feeds off me. I test him quite a lot too.
How?
So, just in terms of what's next, and not necessarily on the pitch, but in terms of, say, the academy and the players coming through the academy, or in terms of looking ahead to 2026 and, you know, player development.
How are you looking ahead to 2026 before 2025's even begun?
Oh, you have to be.
Yeah. Well,
you have to be.
Well, 2025's done for us.
Okay.
So
Reece Martin,
contracts
great.
signed.
Done and
so
dusted.
it's done. So it's like, what's next? So it must be 2026.
It is. The recruitment and actually getting players on and then looking at succession, for me, I might be wrong, is the business.
Yeah.
Is the business for you, right?
Yeah, listen, when I left both football clubs, they both gave me the same message, which was there's nothing more important than recruitment. Like, number one, be obsessed with recruitment, because everything, if you get that right, everything else becomes that little bit easier. Retail, corporate, attendances, you know, it's all relative to my role, which is income. So I am obsessed with recruitment. I thought I was until I met Willie. He is obsessed with recruitment.
Absolutely obsessed.
Yeah.
What he wants everybody. Is Willie like that guy? You know, do you remember Championship Manager, Jenna? No. Championship Manager was a game where you pretended you were a football manager.
A video game?
Yeah, and you could buy any player in the world, couldn't you?
Oh,
and immediately I'd go on there and then you just go around like Ronaldo, sign
so
him,
is it
sign
a little
him,
bit
sign
like
him,
fantasy
sign him.
football now?
Yeah, but I imagine Willie Peters is just like, let's go get. Why are we not getting Jerome Luai? Let's get Nathan Cleary. Let's get James Tedesco.
No, he understands the salary cap. Do you know what? The good thing about Willie, he used to work in commercial. So, you know, he understands the other side of the club, and that's helped greatly. So he does understand the salary cap.
And talk as a working day for Willie Peters then. Because you say he's obsessed. So obsessed is the right word, isn't it?
Obsessed.
In a good way. That can be good and bad, can't it?
Yeah, but in a very good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a very good way.
But he works long.
Yeah, he works long hours. You know, he often talks about that. He has a quote about 5 a.m. boxer. You know, the best boxers up at 5 a.m. and he's up at that time every morning.
Boxing?
Probably. He's a fit bloke. You know, and throughout the day, you know, he's in multiple conversations all the time, right through the evening. He lives and breathes it. He knows what he wants. and you know, you have to admire him.
In the world of, sorry, Jenna, in the world of recruitment, then, is he your best recruit? You know, you're saying it's all about recruitment. Has he been your best signing?
No, Paul has been the club's best signing.
Paul's best signing.
Yes.
I'm talking Paul's best signing.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
How long is he here for? He's just signed a contract extension.
Till 2028.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll be able to hold on to him until 2028?
I'd like to think so. I mean, he's openly said before his ambition was to be a head coach in England. His wife and his kids are really happy here. So, do you know what? He's really embraced it. He's never once said to me, you know, anything about England in a derogatory way.
Oh, you should hear him when he speaks with Jenna. Whoa, do they get talking about beaches and kangaroos and stuff?
But he loves it. You know, he loves it, and his family have embraced it. So,
good.
Yeah.
So let's then, okay, so 2025, you say done and dusted.
Yep.
In terms of recruitment, Reece Martin was announced Wednesday. We broke it on the verdict. Thank you very much for that exclusive. We appreciate every single one. Jared Warrior-Hargreaves is another big one. Okay, so 2026 then. What does that look like? Can you give us anything on this wonderful podcast?
Well, we can only talk about it internally because we can't do anything about it because of the rules, the RFL rules. So we can't approach.
So pretend that we're on the board. So, but if you could,
no, but he can't.
No, but if you could, but okay, who would you like?
We're going to list off names, and you've just got to make body language.
Oh look, you know, it's just, you know, I can't name names because it's just, you know, all on a picture board at the moment. But how we look at it is, you know, you obviously look at lengths of contracts and you look at who's out of contract in the 2025, and you start. I think it's really important to plan ahead in terms of names because so often, sometimes the player you've got is the player you still need, if that makes sense. Everyone think, oh, it's real sexy to change.
Yeah, the answer's always outside.
Correct. So if you explore it now, and then actually your answer is probably in your building. So. But you've got to explore your options. So all we do is just look at who's out, potentially out of contract for 2026.
So do you actually have a picture board? Do you have a dream, a list, a wish list, or a...
We have something on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was like Pinterest board, you know, where you just throw ideas what you do to your kitchen.
That. No.
Can you just let us in on one player that you'd love to sign for 2026?
It's persistent, Jenna.
Oh.
This is the reporter.
I'm going to really disappoint you and say, wait.
Come on, Paul.
I don't know.
You don't. You do. You have. You know. Absolutely.
We haven't. Do you know what? At the moment, was positions, not players. So we haven't really said he is like.
Okay. Give us a position.
The man. So, I think we like every club always want something more in the forwards.
Strengthen the back row.
So we'll just have them really, haven't we?
Yeah, true.
You know, we just have them.
True.
You know, we've got Batch, who's great, and Kalepi's still around for a couple of years, which is great.
Bit more depth there, maybe.
So, a bit more depth in every position.
Okay.
Fair enough. I like it. It's really straight batted the hell out of that.
Bit of a, boring answer, I suppose, but we're not. I can't name names because
I get it.
they're contracted to other clubs.
Understand. Thank you for playing my little game for 5 minutes anyway.
No worries.
So I think a question that a lot of Hull KR fans would want to know is currently top of the table. It's been an outstanding season. There is still a little bit to go in order to get your hands on that silverware and create history.
Yep.
How do you do it? How confident are you that you're going to do it in 2024?
Oh, look, we're absolutely in the mix, aren't we? We're right in the mix. I think what's potentially been missing in years before is the belief, that extra 5%. I've no doubt the belief is there now. So, but you listen to, I was saying earlier, you listen to people say it's one game at a time and you think, such a boring answer.
Yeah.
But it really is, because you can sit here and talk about all the permutations over the last 4 or 5 games. We lose tonight, these permutations mean nothing.
Yeah.
So you have to take one game at a time, but is the belief there? 100%.
So let's go back to the belief then. How? Because you can't buy belief. You have to instill it.
Yeah.
So how have you instilled that within this club? How has Willie done that?
Well, I think you build, because I think people perhaps forget that we have been building for 3 years. So we have been in big games for 3 years.
Tony Smith as well did play his
we were in the
part.
Challenge Cup final last year. We've been in the semi-finals of the playoffs for 2 of the last 3 years. So a lot of these players now have been in big games and have tasted defeat. What I mean by that is sometimes you have to lose a couple to win. it's not new for them now to be in big games. It's not new. It's like we're expected to be there, or we are internally. We expect to be there. So, and I think that comes with building blocks. And then in terms of, we've won away. There was a question mark around us a few weeks ago. Can we go away to the Northwest? Can we go and win at Warrington? Can we go? Warrington.
Big
we've gone
landmark win. That.
Yeah, and it's those little 2%ers that's like we've done that. So they've just got to now. We've got ourselves in a position now where. We've just literally got to take one game at a time, but I've no doubt that the belief is there.
Yeah, and I think from my perspective, when I obviously started playing rugby here, then I went to St Helens, a club that had belief. It was already there.
Yeah.
They didn't have to work at it, so it was a given that the team believed they could win games. Not only win games, but win every game they played, go on and win big games. That was always there when I was there.
Yeah.
So what I find remarkable about Hull KR is to get that from not having it. It wasn't there at all.
Yeah.
So to grow that belief and to grow it from a position of not actually winning anything yet, to have that belief, I think it's exceptional culturally to do that. I think it's a difficult task to do that, and I also think it's a coaching marvel really to get his players to believe without having actually won anything, because it's so easy to believe once you've won. I always remember the first time I won the Challenge Cup. After that year, it just felt like so much easier to get to big games, and you felt like you should be at big games.
Yes.
And it's a different mindset altogether, and that's where Hull KR are going.
Yeah, it is the building blocks. Yeah. I mean, in 2020, arguably, we would have gone down if it wasn't for COVID. We'd have been relegated. That's only 4 years ago. So we've come a long way in 4 years.
Yeah. John, everyone knows that you started your career here.
Yeah.
Didn't you? And then you went to St Helens.
Yeah.
What would it mean to you if this club lifted? Because you're
kind
of a secret. You're a secret. Well, you're not really secret Hull KR supporter, are you?
I've always followed the club.
So what would it mean to you if they lifted the trophy this year?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't want to piggyback on the back of their success and be one of those people who all of a sudden goes, yeah, this is brilliant. I've always wanted this. I've been a critic of Hull KR in the past.
Yeah.
The fans here remind me of that, but that's my job. And when it wasn't going well, and when they're throwing the ball around in 2020 but finishing
a lot of their success is down to you and your criticism.
No, what I'm saying is my job is to take all of that out of it. Now, I've got an affinity to this club because it is but 6 miles from where I grew up. So, of course, I want to see them do well. Would I celebrate it? I'm not sure. I'll tell you this, though. In 1999... I think there was a VAT bill that needed paying at Hull KR, and my transfer fee to St Helens went a long way to pay that. That's all I'm saying. Now, that's my part in it. Big
Are you saying you saved the club?
You said that.
Single-handedly, by the sounds of things.
Guys, you make up your mind whether I saved the club. I'm just saying, if I didn't, they didn't cash in on me. No, I love this club. I was a ball boy here from the age of 8 till I was, 23. Can you imagine? What's the oldest ball boy?
23.
Is there a limit?
I don't think
is there a limit?
Don't think there is.
How good. That's what. Yeah, no, I'm going to save that.
We've reached a new low on this podcast.
No, we haven't. Trust me, it gets lower.
Paul, who do you see in 2024 as being Hull KR's biggest competitor then from preventing you from creating history?
I suppose the obvious answer is it's Wigan and Warrington. Based on the league table at the moment, based on I think that the results in the big games so far this season. But then you get somebody like Rhinos from 3 years ago in 6th place get to the final. So, but I'll be surprised if the winner didn't come from the top 3 this year.
Yeah.
I
think it's
would.
Something like 22 out of the 26 grand finals, the winners come from the top 2.
Yeah.
So
I'll be very surprised.
It's important to finish in the top 2.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. What I'm more interested in, the rugby side of it. I know you're well over that, but the actual role of chief exec. Now, I've got this thing about roles and titles. The chief exec tells me what your title is. It doesn't tell me what you do.
Yeah.
So what do you do? So
I'm responsible for
Willie Peters.
For all staff, the income and the expenditure. So, a lot of the initiatives we do on the marketing front are obviously to generate income. Ultimately, I report to a board.
Yeah, but that's changed, hasn't it?
That's changed a lot.
Yeah.
But rugby league, as we know, has no money. So, like all clubs, our board put money in.
Yeah.
So my main job is to try and reduce that
the dependency on money coming in.
Correct, and that needs to be a good business to do that. You know, you're generating income, but you're keeping an eye on expenditure. And I think the key to it is the same as recruitment on the pitch. It's getting the right people off the pitch.
Yeah.
You can do a really good job, because I'm not a chief exec that breathes down people's necks.
No.
You know, I'll talk to them. I'll guide them, and off they go.
Yeah.
I've been told you don't get angry as well.
Yeah. No. Well, I think I'm a bit weird like that. I get angry.
Right.
When I can't find my paper clips in the drawer.
What do you mean when you can't find your paper clips?
If there was a fire...
No.
If there was a fire...
No. What do you mean when you can't find your paper clips?
Because it's the small, tiny little things that send me into an absolute...
So you get angry at paper clips?
I am completely irrational with my behaviour in that respect. So if there's no paper clips, I'll have a rant. If there's a major fire in a stand, I'll be the calmest guy in the stadium saying, come on.
Jenna's nailed it. Just get a stapler.
So I get uptight about the tiniest things, but I am a pretty relaxed guy.
But you don't get angry though with staff.
No, I don't. But I think that comes with experience.
Yeah.
You know,
so you are more of a trusting people, let them get on with it.
Yeah, steer and guide.
You don't come down on them heavily if they get things wrong. Support them, guide them, learn from failures, move on.
Yeah, that's really. I'm not. I think like people talk a lot about personal development, which I am a big supporter of. But if I'm honest, I don't think I've done a lot of that myself.
Right.
I've just found my way.
Yeah, right. Got you.
I've found my way. I'm not a big reader.
No.
Other people perhaps want me to read more than I do.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. But I've found a way, and I think my role is I think I'm a good people person.
Yes.
So I know, like, I need to understand all my staff and get the best out of them. Very similar to Willie does with the playing staff, really. So I guide and steer and understand people.
So we know how long the club have Willie for, at least 2028. How long will they have you for? What's next for you?
I'm just on a rolling deal. So,
rolling in it deal.
So, yeah, you never know. I didn't expect to go into football when I did. That was a call out of the blue, but I'm happy here. I have a really strong relationship with Neil, the owner. I came back specifically to work with him, so... we're back in the area. I've moved my wife around enough now.
Right. Just on that, because you came back to work with Neil. So when I last spoke to you, so Paul's relationship was very much, me and Neil work closely together, but Neil lets me get on with it, right? But for people who don't know, there's been a real change in dynamic over here. There's been some genuine financial clout come in. You've got a board. I'm interested. That casual sort of working style that you had, is that
changed
completely
massively.
Changed.
Completely
what
changed.
Do you mean?
Completely changed. Yeah.
Formal reporting.
Yeah, no longer are the board meetings in a coffee shop or the local pub with me and Neil.
Good.
The formal board meetings.
Really.
Good governance.
Good governance.
Minute taking.
Right, excellent. All good stuff.
We have a really strong board now.
Are they challenging?
Yeah, but in a good way. They're all successful individuals in their own right. I think.
So who are they? Give us the names for people who don't know.
So you've got David Kilburn, who's owned MKM Building Supplies. That's about 112 stores around the country.
Yep.
James McNichol, who is an oil broker in London, and I think about 28% of the world's oil goes through his company.
Nice.
Ian Richardson, who's been really successful in two industries as a corporate lawyer and then cosmetic beauty surgery.
Right.
You've got Neil. And then you've got, who's obviously a very successful lawyer, and you've got Paul Sewell, who's our chairman, really successful regional company, Sewell Group, who've done a lot in the area in terms of building schools. And so they're all successful in their own right. And I think the hardest thing for me initially it was like, great, they're all on board. How do I mould them together?
Yeah.
Because they've all been successful.
Yeah.
But what we've managed to do, really, and what I'm proud of, is that this was about 2 years ago, and they're still all together now. So we're doing something right, which has found them all a home to concentrate on. So,
an individual area of responsibility.
Correct. Exactly that, yeah. And that's worked really well. So they've all got a focus. They've all got a collective responsibility, but then they've all got their own subject areas that they work with me on. So,
nice.
I suppose my time a lot is, you know, you've got 5 different individuals and I work with each one of them on separate things.
Right, it's cool.
Yeah.
So I keep bringing up things that I've been told about you. I've
In the
spoken to
car
a few,
park.
few people.
We did a lot of... We spoke to people in the car park, didn't we?
No. I'm not going to say who told me this, but I believe you have quite... obsession is a word that we've been using a few times.
Let's lose it again.
Flipflops, have you honest?
Oh, my word.
Oh. Come on, Paul.
Yeah. I love my flip-flops. I've got dozens and dozens and dozens of pairs
so
of
for the
flip-flops.
Aussie listeners,
you collect
thongs.
flip-flops.
And my big regret in life is I nearly set up a flip-flop company about 5-6 years ago, and I wish I had.
But how many pairs of Havianas do you have?
Honestly.
What do you mean?
Like 40 or 50 pairs.
Why?
Sorry, we live in England. You live in Hull. I assume you
Why
live in
don't-
Hull,
why
or
don't you
at least
put-
close by. Like,
I know. I can't believe someone's
Well,
told you
you-
that. One day I thought, do you know what? I'm going to really take on the world of flip-flops. I never managed it. There you
well,
go.
I mean, time is still of the like you can do it, right? Time is kind.
Did
You've
you have
got
a brand?
plenty of time ahead.
Did you have a name?
I did.
You had everything?
I did.
Everything, a website?
24/7.
24/7.
Yeah, I had it all worked
So,
out.
well, for winter,
impressed, aren't
just
you?
24. Hang on, I'm not.
get it?
Wait.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You
I
can
get
go
it.
24/7, can't you?
Yeah. But you're not...
Oh, no. Well, that would look stupid. Right?
I'd go into the board meeting in them.
What's
That's
your
what I
favourite
want.
colour? Flip-flop.
That is really random.
No, you're random with your flip-flops.
You know, you can't accuse anybody of being random when you collect flip-flops.
Red.
Oh,
Red.
that is random.
Right. Do you have any flip-flops?
I've got, I do.
Thongs?
Yeah, I don't have 40 or 50 pairs of Havian. I have a couple, yeah. Black, I'm always just a solid black goes with
Does
everything.
anybody know this about you?
Everyone
It
does
feels like
now.
a bit of the kinky secret. I don't know
It is
if
a
you...
bit,
I know it is.
Okay, so let's move on to the segment on and off the bench. On the bench, Paul, is something you want to see less of in the game. Off the bench is something you want to see more of. Would you like a minute to get your
I've
thoughts
got
together?
an on the bench
Okay.
to start, to get us going.
Please do.
On the bench, I'm going to put Old Trafford.
So you want less of Old Trafford?
Yes.
Oh.
I want us to move from Old Trafford for the
To
grand
where?
final. Well, this is not taking into account the commercial and logistical restrictions that are put in place by moving the grand final to a different stadium. I understand these, but what I would like to see is take it to the Etihad, right? Next door to it is the Co-op Live Arena. What I would then do is marry the grand final with an unbelievable blockbuster concert like an Oasis, where all of the events are amalgamated into one. We have like a Super Bowl style halftime show.
Taylor
Liam
Swift.
and Noel, Sunshine, all that.
Taylor
Swift, great. Yep, fine if that's floats your boat. And then what we do is migrate all of that over to the Co-op Live. We've got then other facilities there that can be activated. Could have the Academy Grand Final, Academy Grand Final on this, all of it on one big site. A festival of rugby league over a full weekend that becomes a concert. It's an event. It's a venue that would be suited to more.
Do you know what? I think there's a lot in that.
Yeah.
I think there's a real lot in that. And more there should be a collaboration between sport and music.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. So do you know what? I am with you on that.
Right, that.
Genuinely,
Sure.
I think that's a great shout.
Yeah,
it's not one of your more...
I'm sure it cost a fortune.
Yeah, and then there'll be all sorts of logistical issues. But that sort of concept has been talked about.
Yeah, right.
And the Etihad's been mentioned, and
Yeah.
I'm with you all the way on it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so is that your on and off in one?
No,
We're going to hear more from you in a minute. Let's go to Paul first for your off. No, let's do on the bench. Something you want to see less of.
Less of.
I'd like to see less of the referees going up to the video refs. You either make a decision or send it up to the video ref with no decision.
That's a good one.
Would you rather, but are you on the bench sending it up to the video ref full stop, or just the fact they give a decision?
You just send them up to the video ref
Would
with
you
no
like
decision.
to see more people just give a try on the field?
No, I think what I'd like is...
If they're unsure, it goes up.
Yeah, what I'd like is the right decision, like we all would. But I think that sometimes the video ref gives a decision because he has to give a decision, and he doesn't know himself.
Yeah.
And then it's influencing the video ref. I think he should...
So
if he
the on-field ref makes a decision, unsure because he's
The reason he's
forced.
sending it to the video ref is because he's not sure.
Yes.
So he's not sure, just send it up clean.
Yeah.
But we've had, maybe...
I am not sure.
I think
what do you see?
This has got to change, though, next year. It has to. There's every single person you speak to is aligned with what you say.
Is that right? Yeah.
I think it has to change. So who would make that decision? Robert Hicks?
Yeah.
I think we urge Robert Hicks, friend of the show. Robert, if you're listening, let's get it changed 25. It's just easy. It's a rule. Scratch out clause 6.1.2.
Sometimes you almost hear the tone of the video ref wanting to find a reason to overturn it.
I agree.
But they don't see enough to be able to overturn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like,
yeah.
So don't put the video ref in that position. Just send it up clean and say, make your call.
I have no idea here. Just come back with some.
Yeah, tell me what the answer is.
I couldn't be more. I couldn't agree with that more.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, you're off the bench.
Off the bench for me. We're in a salary cap sport. Recruitment's really important. I think we miss a marketing trick, a way to promote our sport that we don't understand. I watch Deadline Day in football and transfer speculation, and one thing that's always part of the conversation is how much people get paid. Talk about he's on X amount a week, he's on this amount a year, and obviously they're breathtakingly huge figures, so it's impressive to the layman who's watching. But in Rugby League, we don't publish the salary cap. We don't publish the marquee players.
Have you done this one?
We haven't.
I think you have done this one before. I'm pretty sure you have.
No, we haven't. We have had this conversation. But I want to see the squad lists and how much players are paid. Why not? What's the downside?
Privacy?
Yeah, privacy.
But footballers don't have privacy.
Yeah, but I think you've nailed it. They're on numbers that are really interesting.
Yeah, but then I think this would almost expose the fact that we pay really uninteresting numbers to athletes.
I don't think that's good for the sport.
I do.
Okay, wrap that one there. Paul, you're off the bench. Something you'd like to see more?
Can I have two on the bench?
You can go for it.
Because I would like a second on the bench, which is I would love to see a captain's challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want that off the bench?
Yeah, I think that
I'm pretty sure that is coming in next week.
Is that right?
Maybe the captain has to give a decision though, and then it goes up to the video referee.
Because I think a captain's challenge. I think some captains would look at some players who are saying they've knocked on or haven't knocked on.
Yeah.
I bet you they'll be saying, I'm not trusting you, because there'll be certain players that will be claiming for everything.
Yeah.
And I think they really, obviously it happens all the time in NRL, but I think that's a little bit of drama that we need to add to the game.
I think if we do a captain's challenge, like in the NFL, they throw a flag on the pitch if there's a penalty. Like, I want to see that.
You want drama?
Yeah, but I want to see, Elliot Minchella throw a javelin towards the referee. That's the captain's challenge, Him run on with a huge flag. Let's make it something different.
All right.
Yeah.
Would you like to continue, Paul?
But it's coming in, do you think it's coming in?
It is, yeah.
No, I think it'll add something to the game, and I think I think it's needed.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So did you want another one? Did you want an off the bench as well? Something you...
Can I come back to you on that?
Of course you can. Off the bench...
You're winging it now.
Another flip-flop company.
You really?
Thongs. Not just to be honest. Because realistically...
on the bench.
Oh, yeah. I got stuck in a toilet cubicle this week. It was horrific. It was terrible. Probably not a story for the podcast, but I was at work, went to the bathroom, and it was one of those inside door locks, and I turned the lock thing and it had disconnected, if you know what I mean. So the actual handle moved, but the lock stayed jarred. It was a floor-to-ceiling door as well, so it was like I was in a coffin. It was petrifying. It was horrific. I got out and I lived to tell the tale. But yeah, it was horrible. So yeah, I could put them on. Probably won't lock doors anymore. I'd rather have the embarrassment of somebody potentially walking in on me than
risk. So if anybody walks into the toilet and Jenna's there...
risk getting stuck again. Yeah. It was horrible. I've also been stuck on a toilet cubicle on a plane. That is another story for another podcast. Is that enough time for you to think of yours?
No.
I think, yeah.
Well, I think that's probably the end of this podcast.
Yeah. Let's leave it at that. Just ringing in the back of everyone's mind that Paul agreed with one of my on and off the benches. I don't think I've had any of mine get through. So the Etihad, the event, grand final.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I've been a big advocate for a long time that sport and music we should do more, because we don't
as we hear such a tune here at Craven Street.
We don't fill stadiums with the sport in its own right. Let's be honest.
No.
So surely put a good act on and fill it.
A little respect. That's become a staple, hasn't it?
Staple.
By Error Shaw.
Yeah.
Erasure.
Oh, yeah, staple. It's a great theme,
isn't it?
A great anthem.
Who came up with that?
It was a Challenge Cup, wasn't it? Didn't it happen?
Yeah, he came here and did something like 2017 and did a half-time gig.
Right. And
then
stuck.
It stuck from there.
Yeah. It really works.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's quite modern, really.
So good.
I know. You'll hear it tonight, I'm sure. Well, I think you will.
Well, it's just better than Neil Diamond or something, really. It's actually a bit cool.
And also, just finally, to end on a positive, another positive for this great club, sellout tonight.
Yeah.
We sit here ahead of Hull KR taking on Salford. 4 games to go until the playoffs. You're currently top of the table, and it's a sellout, another sellout.
Yeah, we've only not sold out twice this season, Catalans and one of the London games. So, yeah, we sold out days ago. So, really, yeah, we've got a waiting list for next season. Fantastic. We're going to extend the stadium next season by another 1,000, and we've got about 700 on that waiting list. So, we should be saying the same again next year if we go well.
Well, Paul Lakin, this is a club clearly on the rise. We wish you the very best of luck for the rest of the season. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Cheers, Paul.
Thank you for your time watching and listening, and we'll see you again very soon.